What internet marketing expert should you spend your valuable time listening to? Listen to someone who has over 20 years of web marketing experience and hundreds of website marketing success stories. That man is Aaron Sparks from Site Strategics. And this is Edge of the Web Radio.
All right, hey, we got an article from Search Engine Journal by Greg Seacrest. He actually was able to get out to SMX, the recent Search and Marketing Summit here held just recently. They had like 2 a year. And Google usually makes an appearance, and usually Matt Cutts is there, right? Well, Matt Cutts, if you don't know who that is, he is in charge on sabbatical right now with his cats, in charge of Google spam and how to improve the Google listings and how to clean out stuff that is not good for consumers. And that is the battle that you are engaged in. If you have a website, you whether you know it or not, you're engaged in the ranking battles. Which site is better for a customer search on a particular service? Mm-hmm. So Matt Cutts and his team have regularly, for years, been part of this communication to SMX, but they're regularly changing the algorithms and updating and purging out bad listings and stuff like that. That's not one full-time job. Nope. That is a fleet. That is literally thousands of people working for Google in that space. So, first time ever, Matt Cutts was not the main attraction at that and a highly anticipated U&A, I like that, that was kind of cute, session at this year's SMX Advanced Expo in Seattle. It was moderated by Danny Sullivan, and we're a big fan of Danny Sullivan. He's awesome. And so we got to hear from one of Google's new webmaster trend analysis torchbearers, and his name is Gary Illyes. All right? Is it Illyes? Yeah. Well, the point is that he started to bring some key points to discuss about Google search, right? And he explained that Google will no longer have one person who will represent search to the public. So this is kind of gone the days of only Matt Cutts being the communicator of. Which is good. Yeah, I think so. I think you need to have it manned by different factors because there are so many factors that Google's paying attention to, you know? Well, and so he's many public-facing team members that will be updating us on efforts that Google Search is taking to improve the search quality coming forward. So some points right out of the gate, Tom. Ready for this?
Yes.
All right. He talked about Panda update, and there will be a new Panda update data refresh rolling out within 2 to 4 weeks. Hopefully. Wait a minute. What's a Panda update?
It's a content farm.
Yeah, thin content.
Thin content, that's right. If you have thin content,
spammy content,
exactly,
content in general,
junky content, spammy content, that's a full algorithm shift that they're going to be updating. Now, there's been numbers of those in the past, right? And there's an entire timeline of all the different updates that Google has. So there's going to be a new one coming out. They're telling us right now 2 to 4 weeks. All right, so let's batten down the hatches. And if you have thin content, and by the way, at any point in time you hear any of these key points and you have a question, give us a shout. In fact, there's an Ask Us a Question tool right on Edge of the Web Radio, free of charge.
It's nifty.
It is nifty. You can actually send us a voicemail right there, and it will get to us, and we'll be able to answer it. May even want to use it online on the show itself. Ooh. So you could be a star of this show. Just ask us the right question. Ask us anything about Doug Carr. So after initially giving that time frame that Gary was talking about, he kind of backed away and said that it was going to be soon. The algorithm change was going to come out. Penguin update. The search team is actually working on making this piece of the Google search puzzle update continuously in real time. So there will be no longer rolling out of updates. Now, Tom.
Yes.
Penguin update has a lot to do with
content.
Links.
Oh, I thought you said Panda. Penguin. Yeah, Penguin's links.
Panda's content, Penguin's links. Now, does it bear scrutiny that if they're going to start doing live updates, right, real time of links, they'll probably start doing live disavow updates as well, because we've seen disavow not taking like 6 months to actually process.
Yeah, okay? and then they said originally it would take a while to process, but I mean, the way they kind of describe the Penguin algorithm, everything's going through, imagine water going through a filter. Right. All the websites are going through this filter, which is the Penguin filter. Mm-hmm. And so everything's set on this filter, but they have to update it before everything could change. So just like imagine just turning the filter a little bit, and that's what an update does in the algorithm.
That's a very good analogy.
Thanks, I tried.
I appreciate that.
Good.
He made it clear that the team is months away from accomplishing this, as they have to change many working things. But once they finish this task, update announcements will no longer be given for Penguin. All right. So, not that they were doing it anyway until after the bloody fact. So, all right. So, we're going to have an ongoing change, and that Penguin's going to be watching the links and continually penalizing people that have bad or spammy links that are out there.
Yeah.
Now, that's a little bit heavy-handed. I do think so. Because...
I definitely think so.
Yeah?
I understand. I understand the need, like, especially with black hat practices. You're trying to prevent it, and, you know, the black hatter is going to try to go find another practice if one's going to go away. But this is a situation where, you know, a lot of people are, I feel like most of the web is now, all right, we got to be serious about our content strategy. Like, I mean, in effect, Google has created millions of dollars for content programs, people investing in these programs. I don't know. I agree. It's heavy-handed.
It is, and you know, a wise pursuit is make changes in blocks of time. If you're going to start doing this real time, it's like super whack-a-mole. I mean, it's a little every negative possible link. Is somebody going to get hurt by that? I think so. You're going to start seeing a lot of inadvertent penalties applied to companies and websites that wouldn't have happened with a bit more prudent timed approach. So I don't know if I really concur with that. All right, some quick insights. We got a couple minutes left on this segment. Some quick insights that came from Gary. Panda is actually manually updated, and anybody who's wondering how and when Panda is updated, Gary explained that it's a manual update based on a data set that covers a multiple month period. So the thin content issues are still going to be there, and they're going to take their time doing that. But links, which are the biggest authority factor, are now going to be real time. So I see a lot of popping corn happening all over the place, and it's just going to be crazy. Penalty trackers, right? Google has an actual tool. Now, check this out. They actually told that they had a tool that is used by the search team to see all website penalties that are bringing a site down in the rankings. Wouldn't that be great?
That would be cool. Yeah, I remember reading an article. They saw John Mueller, another Google guy. He did a webinar, and you know, when you pull up Google, it's got like 8 tabs there that you're frequently most gone to once. His first one was google.com. The second one was this penalty tracker, and everybody was like, "Oh, what's this thing? This exists?"
Oh my gosh! I mean, wouldn't you like to know any of the penalties that are applied to your own website? Yeah. Danny Sullivan made the case passionately to give us that tool, but it wasn't going to happen. Clicks do play a role. Based on what you search, certain results will be served up to you in the future. For example, if you search for Apple, and Google will look at your next click to see if you meant the fruit or the company. So they're actively watching your decision. That's what's called Bayesian logic. It's actually doing predictive analysis based on your path. It's going to serve up your real path as opposed to what is known about you from cookies. It's going to find... I know, I love them.
Milk.
It's going to actually give you a real-time performance metric or a real-time reveal based on your intent. So that's interesting. Mobilegeddon, after blaming Danny for making the mobile-friendly updates sound much more dire and apocalyptic, right?
Yeah.
They provided some insight. That they actually said they initially estimated that 50% of the mobile search results will be affected. However, due to the coverage preceding this algorithm change, the results were decreased to 17% from their initial expectations. So, well, that's like shouting fire in a theater, you know. Mobilegeddon! I mean, how many people actually? I mean, there's a lot of web companies that earned a lot of money in those in the first quarter of this year. Just briefly, Twitter signals was something else that was interesting. Google, they say, is not currently using nor is planning to use Twitter authority and engagement as a signal for search rankings. Isn't that interesting? As to why Google isn't planning to using that signal, they explain that they don't consider Twitter to be a long-term ranking signal due to the Twitter's ability to turn this data on or off at will. Anybody in the room believe that Twitter doesn't have a factor on social or on search? Anybody?
Well,
Yeah, I don't know.
okay. Well, now the vicious cycle is maybe not vicious, but the more popular your content is, the better it's going to rank. But the better ranking you have for your content, the more popular it hopefully will be because it's coming up in organic search, so you can share it more.
Yep.
So why would Twitter not be a factor? Now, I can understand if they're looking at that from a celebrity standpoint. If a celebrity shares something, I mean, how many retweets and everything are they going to get?
Exactly.
But for the influencers, why the heck not?
I know. Last two things briefly, we'll jet out of here. Secure search. If you don't know what that is, it's the HTTPS, the secure padlock on a URL. They have plans on making that a very strong signal when it comes to rankings. Write that in your notes, guys. Yeah. Lock down your website. Last thing, authorship. We knew that authorship went away with the thumbnail disappearing, but Gary admitted this is still a work in progress in figuring out how to weigh the signal. However, Google is currently using authorship as a signal to determine rankings, and I'll leave it with that, is that if your marketing firm doesn't know what authorship is, have them call us. We'll be able to help them out there. All right. Coming up, we're going to be talking